Hey guys, welcome back and happy Tuesday. All right, guys, I keep on thinking it's later in the week, but it's not. But we have a lot going on this week. And again, I spoke about this yesterday in Hot Messy Topics, but I believe we're going to be doing our Real Housewives of Beverly Hills / Dubai recap on Wednesday night at 10 p.m. only because we'll be on the road on Thursday. So there's a lot going on. In the meantime, I've talked to you guys a little bit about why I think Lisa Rinna is I just feel like she has one foot out of the Real Housewives door. And I think that she's continuing to fuel this by the way she's acting on social media. So we're going to break into it. But before we do, if you guys haven't already, go ahead, smash that like button. If you're not subscribed, get subscribed. Don't forget to hit that notification bell. And with that, let's jump right in.
It's time for all your binge-worthy pop culture news. Welcome to Up and Adam.
All right, guys. So apparently Lisa Rinna is not happy with production, editors, producers, Andy Cohen, Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. I mean, you name it, it seems like she's on a tangent. And she's upset right now. She's grieving the loss of her mother, Lois. And she's pretty much slamming the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills for only honoring her mother, her late mother, Lois, with one single episode. And she's posting about it. Now, she wrote, this is what she put out there on her social media. She got one episode talking about Lois, got one episode of grace. That's it. Lois deserved and deserves much more. Shame on everyone. Now, she went on and she was pretty much just telling everyone that she thinks that this is BS, that Lois only got one episode of grace when so many fans love Lois and Lois loved filming the show. At the end of the day, I don't necessarily feel like it's up to Lisa Rinna to decide who gets how much airtime. And they did still honor her late mother, Lois. And that was part of her, and it still is part of her storyline. I think what's happening here is Lisa Rinna is watching the episodes back. She's having to relive it. It's probably bringing up all of that grief and everything that she went to. And this has to be a hard and devastating time, 100%. But with her going on, this is not the first or second or third time that she's slamming production or the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. And she really hasn't acted like this in the past. Now, we know some people close to Lisa Rinna who think that, you know, her and some of the other cast members might be on their way out of the show, but I just don't know. I don't know if that's true or not. And the only reason I say that is because at the end of the day, who knows how someone's going to react when they get a new contract in front of their face? She had a 4-year contract. That 4-year contract is coming to an end at the end of season 12. So once she films the reunion and she's done, technically Bravo could say to her, hey, we're good on you. You know, we think that you've done your time. Thank you so much for being a Real Housewife, but we're going to move into a different direction. The thing is here, Ryan Bailey, So Bad It's Good with Ryan Bailey, joined us for a recap one time for the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. And when he did, he made such a great point. Just because you might not like someone doesn't mean that you don't like to watch them. I don't dislike Lisa Rinna. I don't know Lisa Rinna to dislike her. I think that she's messy on the show, but I think that makes for a great show. But for Lisa Rinna, it seems like right now she's kind of self-imploding. And I don't mean that with any disrespect at all. I mean, the way that she's navigating herself off of the show on social media is extremely problematic. The way that she has this guy who's going back and forth and claiming, and this might not even be her fault, but the Patrick guy claiming that Lisa Rinna put her up to this whole kind of smear campaign for Kathy Hilton. That didn't look great, but maybe the guy was just looking for attention. Who knows? But that wasn't the end of it. Then after that, when she went on and she was talking about Garcelle Beauvais, and she was talking about the fact that she refuses to accept that fans will call her a racist if she decides to go after Garcelle, because that is what the show is and everyone should be fair game. She said that's bullshit. She called the audience hoes and also pussies, and it wasn't a great look. Then she said, why don't you guys go watch the Real Housewives of Dubai? Now, we know that she went back and forth with the Real Housewives of Dubai and they read her for filth, and she was clapping back, but based off of social media and Twitter, it looks like somebody did damage control and they tried to kind of put a stop to this before it got out of control. The reason I say that is because we saw where Chanel Ayan and Lisa Milan and Caroline Brooks all said, hey, great conversation with Lisa. We can't wait to meet you in the future, which I'm guessing would be BravoCon. All right. If I had to kind of figure out in my mind where everything is going right now with Lisa Rinna, I'm thinking because she has been so problematic on social media, that production, I feel like they don't think that they can control her, because what some people don't know is when you go to get an interview, or like for me, when I go to interview a housewife, I have to reach out to NBC, and they all have a designated PR person, a point of contact that you reach out and you say, hey, can I interview this person? And they'll say either, right now is not a great time, or let's look into it. How do you feel about doing it next week? Something like that. But they have to manage these, housewives, and usually they're having conversations off to the side. And I know this for a fact because I know one housewife who was pretty problematic, and she shared a lot with me, talking about when she would post something on social media about one of her co-stars and it had nothing to do with the show, they would call her, and I don't want to say threaten her, but let her know, you're walking on thin ice, and if you keep behaving like this, your job could be in jeopardy. So I wouldn't imagine a realm where Lisa Rinna would be exempt from that, especially because it's not like it's her just slamming Real Housewives of Beverly Hills and, not giving Lois any more than one episode. She also went on and slammed the editing of Real Housewives of Beverly Hills and pretty much said shame on them because they left out a part of the story with her and Sutton where they had breakfast. And that's the reason that she called Sutton out at her tea party. She's also gone on and slammed Kathy Hilton, calling her a homophobic racist and a narcissist. And it was in cryptic posts, but we knew who she was talking about. She also went on and slammed Garcelle. I mean, she's literally slammed everyone except her close group, which would be Kyle, Erica, and I believe Dorit. I don't think she slammed Crystal either, but it's Lisa Rinna, so that time could be coming. I mean, does this sound like someone who wants to keep their job? Because, like I said, when you're on the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills or any franchise, yes, you're expected to go on social media, you're expected to be active, but you're expected to be active around what's going on in that week's episode. Engage in that, but don't just go on these tangents. And then when you're talking about what's going on behind the scenes with filming and scenes that were cut or edits that didn't make it, or shame on the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, you're basically slamming your employer, which we know Andy, Bravo, production, they don't take too kindly to. So does Lisa Rinna, does she have a future on the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills? I mean, I'll be honest with you guys. I don't want to see her go off the show. I think that she's great for, keeping everything moving, and she's good with storylines. And I think that she is a pot stirrer, but we need a pot stirrer. When we did Spilling Tea Live New York with Zach and Margaret Josephs said it best, that you might not like her, but guess what? You're still watching and she's keeping the show moving. And you need a Lisa Rinna in every single franchise. I agree with that. It might be the unpopular opinion, but that's kind of where I stand with it. I don't want to just give you my opinion though and not ask what you think. I want to hear what you guys think. So go ahead and comment below. What are your thoughts about Lisa Rinna slamming Real Housewives of Beverly Hills production and all of her social media antics? Candace Diller Bassett, she got into a lot of trouble by Andy Cohen for doing the same thing. She got yelled at. She got called a hot mess on Twitter, on social media. What is he going to say to Lisa Rinna when she goes to the reunion? Is he going to hold her accountable? I mean, somebody needs to at this point. This is kind of a mess. But go ahead, comment below. And before you go, again, don't forget that we will be going live tomorrow night at 10 p.m. Eastern to talk about the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills and the Real Housewives of Dubai. We have a lot to cover, a lot to do, and we'll be posting it in our community tab. I love you guys so much. Don't forget to smash that like button. If you're not subscribed, get subscribed. Don't forget to hit that notification bell. And with that, we'll see you next time. Bye, guys. Love you.